Hey, thanks for joining us on this busy night. I'm Brian Sterling.
And I'm Marley Ginter. We want to start with Betsy DeVos' hearing as she tries to become our nation's next Secretary of Education. The hearing for the West Michigan billionaire lasted 3.5 hours.
24-hour News 8 political reporter Rick Albin was inside that hearing, and he's live tonight from Capitol Hill to show us what happened. Rick?
Contentious, intense, as you would have expected. A packed house, mostly invited guests, no protest, no outburst. But as you say, it went on for a long time. Democrats questioned DeVos's motives and her qualifications. Republicans seemed to think that was too harsh. In one case, you had a former vice presidential candidate going after the nominee, but one Republican was almost tongue-in-cheek making fun of that line of questioning. And then we talked to the chairman of the committee, and he talked about his support for the nominee.
I'm really struck. The kind of reaction your nomination has elicited. So let me just ask some questions. Do you support public education?
Absolutely, Senator.
Man, that's amazing. You would think some would have us think that you do not. Do you believe that all children deserve to have the opportunity to receive quality education?
Absolutely, I do.
The nation deserves a Secretary of Education who's a champion of kids, parents, state and local control, and outcomes. And I also think the nation deserves a Secretary who's a champion of public education. In a 2015 speech on education, you were pretty blunt, quote, "Government really sucks." And you called the public school system a, quote, "dead end." In order to clarify, you never attended a public school, K-12 school, did you?
Correct.
And your children did not either, correct?
That's correct.
And you've never taught at a K-12 public school, correct?
I've not, but I've mentored in one.
Okay. I worry about the effect of a leader who believes government sucks on the morale of the workforce.
Well, of course we're going to launch a defense on her behalf, because if somebody says that a Secretary of Education isn't qualified because she supports public charter schools, which Democratic and Republican presidents and the current education secretary used to operate charter schools, or because she spent the last 30 years trying to give low-income children the choice of a better school, of course we're going to defend that.
Democrats want more questioning. Chairman Alexander said no, that these hearings had already gone longer than either of President Obama's nominee for Department of Education. They'll continue to ask, likely won't get another round of hearings. In fact, if all of the paperwork goes through next Tuesday, there could be a vote. Republicans on the panel outnumbered Democrats. No Republicans voiced any objections to Mrs. DeVos' nomination tonight. So it seems pretty likely that next Tuesday she'll be voted out of committee and onto the Senate floor. We'll continue to watch that. We're live in Washington. I'm Rick Albin, 24-hour News 8.
And Rick, some of the paperwork they're waiting on is in regards to her financial dealings. Is that right?
Yeah, there's some ethics papers that have to be gone through, and the question is, do you have any holdings? Have you made any investments that might be in conflict? In fact, they discussed some of those tonight. And so she will have to satisfy the ethics officer that whatever it is that they say is objectionable can be taken care of. Now, they've already had conversations. The final report, or agreement as it really is, hasn't been released yet. They expect it on Friday. That will give the committee from Friday through Tuesday to look at it and perhaps take a vote. If that doesn't come out Friday, though, Chairman Alexander said there won't be a vote on Tuesday. So if those papers don't come out on Friday, that could slow down this nomination process.
All right. Rick Albin reporting live tonight from Washington. Thank you, Rick.